Hi everybody, Debra Burgin with Heartfelt Inkspiration here, and I want to tell you how I made this card. First of all, I want to ask you to share this video on Facebook, and this will be the card, or the one I make now, that I will send you if I draw your name. So, a couple weeks ago I said that I would give you a Stamparatus tip, and I didn't do that because I had the unboxing video. And so today I'm going to show you just basically how I use the Stamparatus and a tip. So I want to remind you that on my heartfeltinkspiration.com blog, I have a tab called Resources, and on there I have, I think, 5 different videos for the Stamparatus. That's basically how I learned to use it and how I got different tips. So that's a great place to see tutorials. And so I'm repeating some of the things that are on that video, but this is how I use my Stamparatus. First of all, I'm going to be using the stamp set on this card, which is called Today's Tiles. It's on page 38 of the 2020-2021 annual catalog, and I love this kind of motif, but especially because it's a 2-step stamping technique. Perfect for the Stamparatus. Although these stamps are photopolymer, and so conceivably you could get these to line up with relatively little trouble. However, if I've learned one thing in my career, it's don't stamp a single card, stamp several. And so the advantage of the Stamparatus is that you can make multiples of the same card, as well as ensure that you're getting things exactly lined up and getting excellent impressions from your inking. So because this is a photopolymer stamp set, the first thing that I did was include my foam pad. This comes with your Stamparatus. Got the cute little Stampin' Up logo here, and rests on top of the base. I put on top of it one of the pieces of Stamparatus grid paper. You can certainly just cut down a piece of scratch paper or cut down a bigger piece of grid paper. But it's a useful thing because it allows you to get your material lined up. And so I'm stamping on this card, and I'm going to do it this way so that you can see what I'm doing, for one thing. Okay, so I'm going to, I took a little painter's tape and I taped my grid paper onto the foam. I'm going to put my card down. I'm going to, I think I'm going to line it up with this line here, and I'm going to center it between these 2 heavier lines so that there's one square, that's 1/4 inch on either side. And I'm going to put my magnets down. So if there's one thing that you probably already know about the Stamparatus, it is do not let these magnets touch each other. They are, well, okay, can I just say, I hope this doesn't offend anybody, but they're like a couple of teenagers. There's a natural attraction. They want to be together. Do not let them be together. If you clunk them together, there's a good chance one of the magnets will break, or both of them, and then you need to replace them. So be really careful to keep them apart. Okay, the second thing I'm going to do is put my first stamp, which is the more solid stamp, it's this one, down where I think it's going to go. And I'm going to position this so that there's more space at the bottom than there is at the top, because I want to be able to put my sentiment down there. And I'm mainly looking to see if I've got this pretty well centered from top to bottom, and I'm kind of seeing if I'm going to hit this line. However, I don't know that until I do my next step. Okay. So I'm going to put the cover down. Notice it's not really the cover, it's sort of the side plate. And I'm going to press it against the stamp and lift the stamp up. I was washing my stuff, and so I've got some water on this, but that'll dry. Okay, and I just want to make sure my card is not moving. All right, so here's my tip. How do I make sure that I got that straight? Well, one thing is, so you see I pulled this up straight up and down. When I look at my stamp against the plate, I want to make sure that the line that I see, I don't know how clear this is, but the line that I see is straight. This is actually a better line to follow because it's the one that I used. And that does look very straight to me, although it seems like this could be going down a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my finger on this corner, lift this off, and use that to pivot. This would be easier if I didn't have my glasses on and I could get my nose up there, so I hope this turns out right. Okay, so now that should work. I'll just double check. Oh, Debra, no. I figured that out. Okay, and if I look here, this does look straight. Okay, but time will tell. Okay, next I'm going to ink this up with my lighter of the two colors. So I'm using Mint Macaron for my lighter color and Pretty Pink Peacock for my darker color. You probably know this tip too, is to take a stamp pad, put it underneath your the plate that's got your stamp on it, so that as you're doing your inking, I'm not going to move over my camera. You're just going to have to believe that I'm doing this or see it. So there's no bouncing, or you've got plenty of support there. Okay, now one thing that I think is kind of surprising is how messy I got with this. It's not surprising. I mean, don't worry about it, because it's not going to touch the paper. What it will do is touch the tape here. And that is potential for inky fingers, so I'm going to watch out for that. Okay, I'm going to drop this and press. Now, I don't have to put all my weight on this, but I do want to make sure that it's uniformly pressed. Okay, now I'm going to look at it, and do I see any areas that are light? And I actually do see some areas up here, so I'm going to ink that area, just that part of the stamp. And because my paper has not gone anywhere, my stamp has not gone anywhere, when I press it again, now you see, oh, actually I could do a little bit more down here. It stamps in exactly the right place. Wow. Fabulous. Okay. I'm going to put this to the side. If I was not on video, I would be going into the laundry room and cleaning that. Okay, so now my second color is Pretty Peacock, which is the light. And so look at the difference between these two. This I basically inked twice. This was just once. So this will be interesting to see what this looks like. Okay, so now I'm going to put on the other stamp. So you can see these little like teardrops, and you can see them here in this, on this stamp. So there's one, and you can see I'm lining up the centers here of things. So I am going to move my head closer to this because my eyes are not that great. The biggest problem I have with this is that my fingers want to stick to photopolymer stamps. And so it's hard to release. I say that because that's, if you know Father of the Bride, well, he's got those dogs that are barking at him. Release, relent. Okay, and if you don't know that movie, well, then you think I'm nuts, but that's okay. All right, I think that looks pretty good. And I'm going to press this against my plate. Okay, checking again to make sure that that didn't move. Inking Up and Pretty Peacock. So this is way messy. Not a problem. Wow. And just because I made the first impression so dark, I'm going to add another layer of this. So it looks pretty good, but I want to make sure it's balanced. Wow. Okay, so is it perfect? No, because I'm not a machine. That's what I tell you guys. But it is beautiful, and it is really kind of exciting to see. So here again, see the ink on this tape? I get that on my, look at, ink on my fingers like that's something really outrageously unique. But you want to be careful because this is a good way to smear your project. Okay, so I'm ready to clean up. And I just want to ask you again to please share this video on Facebook. I will draw somebody's name and send you this card. So as I've done, starting today, share. I will pick the name on Saturday and let you know. So thank you very much.